Hello, welcome to another SEO video. Today we'll be talking about on-page SEO, and in particular we'll be looking at WordPress and the plugin called Yoast. Hello, welcome to another SEO video. Today we'll be talking about on-page SEO. In particular, we'll be having a look at WordPress and we'll be talking about a plugin called Yoast. Find out how agencies just like us conduct on-page SEO. Before we get into today's video, I'd like you to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've given some really great free actionable SEO tips, and next week we'll be releasing another video where I'll be talking a bit about backlinks. All the products and softwares that we use here at Green Gecko Digital we've linked to in the description below. Okay, so let's backtrack. Video number 1, we've conducted our keyword research. Video number 2, we've written our copy around the keywords. Now video 3, what we're here discussing today is how we put that copy on page, so on the website in an SEO friendly manner. And this is really important. So we're going to talk about WordPress in particular in this video. The great thing about WordPress is there's a plugin that allows us to carry out this on-page journey in a really seamless manner. Now, if you go to your plugins and you install and activate a plugin called Yoast, then once you are in the process of putting that content on page, Yoast will actually tell you what you need to do to get your on page looking 10 out of 10. Yoast have a traffic light system that breaks down every single on-page variable that they measure, and it puts it into 3 areas, either a green, an amber, and a red. Obviously, all the green things you're doing great. However, you need to address the amber and the red points to ensure your on-page is maximized. Now, if your website isn't built in WordPress and you're not using a plugin like Yoast, there's lots of different ways of doing this. You may have to do a manual check by bringing up the source code, in which case you can look at all the variables that Yoast measure on page and then do this check manually by, again, looking at the source code. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 3 key areas that I see a lot of people get wrong on their websites. Very simple areas that can have a really massive effect on your on-page SEO. The first is the title of the page. That's just such a simple and obvious point, but we need to get the keyword in the title of that page. Now that title is referred to as a H1, heading 1 in code, and it's really important that we only have one of these on that particular page. We don't want several H1s, because Google's going to have a bit of a hard time understanding what that page is actually about. We want to send one real clear message to Google about what this page is about. Therefore, it's really important that your keyword is in your H1, ideally at the beginning. The second really important point I want to make that follows on from this are your H2s and your H3s, your subheadings and the headings as you go further down the page. These are also really, really important, and they need to be marked correctly. You know, we can have several H3s, for example, but again, the keyword needs to be mentioned in the H2 and or H3. And this is telling Google again what this page is about, and it will start to rank that page for a particular keyword. So now we've got the heading and title structures sorted. Of course, it goes without saying we need that keyword density to be achieved throughout the copy in itself, which we addressed in last week's video. But going forward, what we need to really think about here is our metadata. And by metadata, I'm talking about the 3 variables that you see as you scroll down the Google search results, which are the title, the description, and the URL. It's really important that these 3 variables encompass the keyword in itself. Again, Yoast will help you actually achieve this, and if you haven't, for example, mentioned the keyword within your meta title or meta description, Yoast will flag that up for you. So this is a really important concept to grasp. For example, if someone goes to Google and types in accountants London, as they search the results and scroll down, they want to be able to see the metadata that actually encompasses that keyword that they've typed in, accountants London, and that's halfway to matching search intent. So they've actually found an accountant in London, and that's what they search for. Now, obviously, when they click onto your page and go through and read the copy, all this has to marry up. So we're talking about accountants London with the metadata, so the meta title, the description, and of course within the copy itself, we've got to be talking about the same area for search intent to actually match. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is having images within your page. Obviously, it's really important to have images in your page. People are likely to stay on your page for longer if they're more visually stimulated by the page, rather than a massive essay of text. Now, with the images, it's really important that we mark these correctly for SEO purposes. So again, you may want to consider renaming the file name of that image to something to do with the keyword if relevant. And again, it's important that we mark these images with alt tags to, again, replicate the keyword so Google knows what we're trying to achieve on this page. Again, put yourself in Google's shoes. They're not a human, they're a robot. Their robots crawl our page and view the source code. So therefore, if an image is called something along the lines of the keyword and it's marked up in that way using the alt text, then Google's going to put 2 and 2 together and know you're talking about that particular keyword on that page. So the last point I want to talk about are links, both internal and external links. Now, it's really important to have good quality, relevant internal links on your websites to help your users navigate through your website, but also help pass weighting from your very authoritative pages to other pages that you're looking to grow as well. Of course, external links, if we're referring to stats or some kind of research, and it'd be great to have an external link to another website where they can verify that. Of course, that's got to open in a new tab. We don't want users to not come back to our website, so have that open in a new tab. Now, all these elements I've been talking about are really important for on-page SEO. And as I mentioned before, Yoast goes through all these variables in detail. So once you've actually drafted your page in WordPress, you can have a look at Yoast and see what you need to do to further refine that to make sure you score greens across all fronts. Now, in some areas, it's going to be very difficult to score all greens, especially in the readability section. Again, we covered a bit of this in the previous video, but for example, if you're a firm of solicitors or you have a corporate tone, it's going to be near enough impossible to score greens in the readability area just because you're naturally using complex language as opposed to short, simple, concise language. Would you like a free SEO audit? If so, please subscribe to the channel, go to the description and click the link to book your free SEO audit with me. So to summarize, we've talked about on-page SEO, in particular WordPress. We've also discussed Yoast SEO and how it's really important to review your on-page using that plugin. And I've talked about 3 or 4 areas in terms of what Yoast actually used to measure your on-page SEO and how important they are to a successful SEO campaign. What kind of fruit do SEOs like best? Low-hanging fruit. You'll get it if you're in SEO. But thanks very much for watching the video. As always, I hope you've got value from this video. Next week, we'll be discussing backlinks and giving some really good free, actionable tips on how to acquire quality backlinks. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. For those that have subscribed, thank you very much. It really does mean a lot to us. Wishing you the best for 2021. Take care.